One thing I like to talk about or reflect on is how our state of mind or our beliefs can really impact what we feel is possible in the world, and more specifically, what we feel is possible for us um, in terms of what we can do or what we can pull off. And there's this old expression which I believe came from Ford, which says, "Whatever you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." Um, and it's a great quote because it really points out how beliefs can be self-fulfilling prophecies in a certain respect. Um, and as much as I like this understanding or this quote, it can also be a little bit frustrating, because um, if I know that my thinking impacts something, but I don't have a mechanism for shifting my thinking, that can be frustrating. Like sometimes I'm sitting there and things seem like they're not possible, and I feel like stuck in my tracks, and I'll never get past a particular impasse. And even in that moment, I may have this awareness, hey, this is my thinking, or it's the way that I'm thinking and all that. um, I don't know how to gain access to different thinking in that moment, and that can be really frustrating. So I have a little exercise you can do to move how you're thinking about something in a bit of an indirect way, because we can sit there and try to will ourselves to think something differently, but if we're in the wrong state, it may not impact it very much. So here's what you can do. The first thing I like to do is think about whatever situation I'm contemplating. Like maybe there's a goal I have, and I'm getting a certain feeling that this is either like not very possible or is very possible. But in this case, we're talking about ones that don't seem that possible. Like we're sort of stuck in the morass of everything. So you want to get something in mind, and then on a scale from 1 to 10, give it a rating. Like, say, if on a scale from 1 to 10, 3 would be like, this is not very possible at all, and 10 is like, this is a piece of cake, this is absolutely possible, I can crush it, no problem. So take a measurement. I always like to take a measurement because then it's fun to see if you can move the needle on it. So you have a situation that you're thinking about, and then you take a measurement, you get a number for that, and then for now you can put that to the side. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to think about many situations that are challenging or difficult to us, and think about things that you've tried that didn't work, or challenges from the past that no matter how hard you tried, you couldn't move the needle. And we're doing this intentionally so we can get into a state of this isn't possible. So we get a familiarity with that and what that feels like in our body, how it shows up in our thinking. And if you take a moment to take an inventory from that state, and notice, how do you hold that in your body? How's your posture? How's your breathing? What things are you picturing? What things are you saying to yourself? And then you can think about the goal or situation that you thought about, and see, is your number in the same place? It may have even gone down a little bit. And then again, put the test context to the side, put everything you were thinking to the side, shake it off, break state, move around, dance a little bit. And then take a moment and begin to think about things, situations and places where things did seem possible, and times and places where you really did well, where you really crushed it, where you're able to make progress, and make progress in a consistent way. Maybe it's a particular skill that you're good at. Maybe it's It could be a sport. It could be a certain academic skill that you're really good at. It could be times at work when you just knew the right thing to say or the right thing to do to impact the situation. And you may want to note down a few examples of this, and then just keep cycling through them in your mind, like, move from one situation to another. I remember I had to take a sailing certification as a kid, and I was just very focused and determined, and I knew I was going to get it done ahead of time, even though I had been told that it was really, really hard and not possible. I just knew I'm going to do this, and I did. And you can think about things like that. Think about just times and places where you felt like more was possible than you even expected. And again, we want to do the same thing. Notice what that feels like in your body. Notice what things you picture then. Notice what you say to yourself. Notice how you're breathing. And when you're in that place of a feeling of possibility, then look at that goal or that situation again and just check the number there. And notice if it's the same. Is it still where you started? If it was a 3, is it still a 3? Has it moved up? Even if it's become a 4 or a 5 in terms of being possible, that's fantastic. Like, you've moved the needle, and more importantly, you started to build a contrast to which state you're in. And the other thing it points out is that reviewing times when we're feeling incredibly capable or competent actually helps get us into a state of possibility. Or I call it my can-do state. It's like I look at something and I'm like, yes, I can do that. So this is a way you can move from one to the other when you are stuck. And this can be combined with other things like breaking a task down, etc. But I encourage you to go back and forth between the two for a while until you get good at noticing, okay, I'm in more of the stuck place, and now I'm moving into the place of feeling very capable. Like you just know you have this feeling of, I can do this. I can absolutely crush this. So hope you have some fun with that. And I look forward to hearing about all of your successes.